Hi. Over the last few days, I've been receiving lots of calls about a very high-profile case of animal hoarding and animal cruelty that is currently taking place in Turkey. The name of the person that has committed these crimes is called Hale Bayrak. And my friends contact me because they know something. They know that I have met Hale Bayrak personally. I'm going to tell you the story. It happened quite a few years ago, back in 2011, I think it was. I met Hale at the clinic where I was taking my animals. The name was Ada Veterinary. She was there. She was a normal client. She had brought in a kitty, I think it was. I don't remember. But the girl was there, fairly nice, kind of young, 23, 24. And we started talking, and she tells me this incredible story about how she had just come back to Turkey. She has been working abroad working in an NGO in Somalia, I think it was, and she married a Somali guy, and she came back to Turkey with him, and I don't know, something quite unusual for a young Turkish girl. So she tells me that she's into animal rescue and that she wants to help all these kitties, and if I ever need help, maybe she could foster for me or something. And then she did the same thing to the people at the clinic, and she offered their help. If you have any kitty that needs a home, needs fostering, especially if the kitty is handicapped, maybe I can help, blah blah blah. Okay, nice. So over the next few weeks, the girl and I met at the clinic at times, because I tend to go to these places quite often. We usually have animals on treatment, and she made friends with the owner of the clinic, and she got a couple of cats, I think, from him, and then met other people that rescue animals, and she got a couple of cats from them. And at some point, we had a kitty at the place. And she said, look, if you want, I can take care of him. I have big place and this and blah, 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 blah. She showed me some pictures, and I thought, well, okay, well, I don't know. She's a client of the hospital where I'm going. So sure, take him. His name was Angel. So we started talking, and then I started realizing that some things didn't add up. Now, that girl was, first of all, she was too young to have been in Somalia, too young to be married, and brought back to Turkey. And the story she was telling me just didn't add up. And then she tells me that she had cancer, some kind of weird cancer, but she had recovered from the cancer. And you know what? I've had this cancer thing told before, and I just, I don't know, it's very weird. So one day I say, look, Hale, I would like to go to your place. I would like to see not only my cat, but I would like to see the cats that you have been taking from the clinic. I want to see how they're doing. I know that some of the people that have given you cats are asking you, and that you're not replying their telephone calls. And they're getting very nervous. So I want to go and see it. I think memory is kind of failing me in the details. It's been quite a while ago, but I've just read my correspondence in those days, and I think at some point I said, look, I'm just going now to see what's going on. I'll be there in half an hour. So when I arrived to her place, she wouldn't open the door for me. I went there before, and I knew there was somebody inside the apartment, and they were not opening the door. So I waited and called, and there's no reply. So I finally went down. She lived in a basement apartment. I knocked on the door. There's no answer. And at some point, just when I was about to bring the door down, because I was just, that's it, something really wrong is happening here. She opened the door, and she was inside with her father. It was horrible. It was a scene that I will never forget. The cats were so many and they were running around. These people were putting cats in boxes, and if I'm not wrong, they were about to release them outside on the streets or in the forest or something. So I was in shock. So I picked up all the cats I could. I picked up, of course, my cat Angel. Angel was in pretty bad shape. After that, he recovered and he went to Norway, I think it was, or Finland. He went to Finland to my friend Tanya to be adopted. But anyway, so I got all the cats, and they were in such shape. And that girl, I mean, she had been feeding the cats lettuce and tomato. There was diarrhea all over the place. It was incredibly skinny. Many of them were handicapped, and they were incontinent. She never took care of them. There were open rows and open wounds, and it was just horrific. So I took all the cats I could. I took a box with 9 or 10 or something, multiple boxes. I mean, I just came out of the place and I took them all to the hospital. And anyway, they all went for treatment, and they were all homed after that. But I say to those people, I say, look, this can't go on. This can't go on. I spoke to her family, and I said to them, look, I understand she's your daughter. She's very young, but she has a really serious mental problem. I understand she's not evil. She's sick. You have to put her on treatment. For quite a while, I communicated with her sister. Her name was Hale Bayrak. And I spoke to her, and they were in hospital for a while. She was on treatment. But after that, when she came out of hospital, they kind of lost track. And, over the years, I kept on hearing that she was going to university and this and that. And one day, I saw a video of her on TED, TED, they give conferences and speeches. And there was a woman giving a speech about cancer patients and how she had survived cancer. And I knew that woman is just back. She's back. Something's going to happen. Just give her some time. Something's going to happen. But I had already left the country anyway, so it was very difficult for me to track this thing down. I mean, just last week there was a short expose on Turkish television. Apparently there had been some complaints. They went to her apartment and they found tens of animals dead. And the images are horrific. Look, I don't even know if I should be showing you this, but they were really horrible. She had created a fantasy world around her. She seemed to really believe that she had survived cancer. She created she was raising money for a kid with cancer, and apparently this money never arrived to the kid. Which leads me to believe that she's not only mentally ill, but there is a very serious component of ill intent and willingness to I don't know. It's really difficult. There's a big issue among animal rescuers, and something that I've been seeing for many years is and it has to do with animal hoarding. I don't see it so much over here in Spain. This is not such a prevalent problem, although I've seen it on some people that run animal rescue operations and they run shelters. I've seen it. But animal hoarding is a serious problem. It's a serious problem, and I've seen it a lot in Turkey. People start picking up animals from the streets. They are led by compassion, but this quickly turns into a big problem and a tragedy, both for them and for the animals. When I was in Turkey, I received once a correspondence from I think it was a researcher from London. She wanted to speak to me about my experience with animal hoarders, because she was doing a research in order to understand the mechanisms be behind animal hoarding, and whether this should be a criminal conduct, or if it should be treated more as a mental disease. I think in the UK you have big issues with that as well, and I think it's treated as a crime. Probably I think in the States as well. I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, this is serious, and I would like to have your opinions on this. So Hale is right now. I don't know what's the state. I think she's been arrested, or she's under investigation. I don't really know what's going to happen. Turkey is not really a paragon of due diligence and due process when it comes to animal welfare. But I think this time that woman has pissed off quite a lot of people. And I think maybe this is the time when this is going to end. If it doesn't end this time, she will continue. She's still young. She must be around 28, 29 now, maybe 30. And probably, unless she goes into serious treatment and that they figure out a way to contain her, she will continue committing these atrocities. Back in those days, I didn't really have the big platform that I have today. We were beginning our charity, and we were doing lots of things, but always with very little support and very little funds, and it was just the beginning of what we were creating. So at the time, there was really not much I could do other than telling all our friends and making sure that they knew, and making sure that they track her down, and making sure that they But obviously time passed, and now she has resurfaced again. So there seemed to be a big scandal in Turkey. They even have a hashtag on Twitter, Hale Bayrak. If you want to check it out, it's pretty horrific. And I just I just wanted to tell you my side of the story, and it was really sad because I could see that woman had lost her way, and that she was deeply troubled. And I also could sense that woman really feared me. Over the years, there's been a lot of people that have been afraid of me. I think especially when we were beginning in Turkey, we were doing some serious activism stuff, and we had to play hardball sometimes. So in Hale's case, I know she was very afraid of me, and what I could do, or the way I could tell the stories. But really, all I wanted was for her to go into treatment, and for her family to take care of her and deal with this problem. Now that I'm a father, I can see things from a different perspective. And today, just a few minutes ago, I was playing with one of my children, and I was just looking at him playing ball, and I felt so sad for Hale's parents. That girl, there was a time when she was playing with them, and she was just learning how to walk and how to talk. And then 28 years later, the woman is a certified nutcase and animal hoarder and psychopath, really. And I don't really want to use these terms lightly, because I'm not a psychologist, and I can't really diagnose anybody. But she's definitely an animal hoarder, and there is plenty of things behind that woman. That's it, really. It's not a positive video. It's not something. I think this video today is something to reflect. And if any of you, I know this is very difficult, and mental illness is something that has to be treated in a very delicate manner. But if any of you, I will say, if any of you ever feel that that animal rescue or your relationship with animals is becoming a problem for you in your life. If any of you ever feel that maybe your animals are not having a good life and that the relationship you have with them may be hurting them more than doing them any good, just please seek help. Seek help, because I know out there are some ways to get help, and there are some people that will understand you when you speak to them, and that you're not alone, even if that's how you feel. Sometimes there's always someone willing to listen, and there are lots of institutions and lots of organizations that may be able to help. So that's it. Big scandal in Turkey, Hale Bayrak, lots of dead animals, and a terrible sad story about someone that lost her way and that went into a fantasy world, and who knows what's going to happen next. If any of you want to know more, maybe I'll update that at some point, but anyway, I'm quite sad about today, because I was there. I could see it coming years ago. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching this channel and listening to my stories and connecting with me. And please don't forget that everything we do here can only happen thanks to the contributions of our friends. So please, if you think that we're doing a good job, and if you feel connected with us and our animals, please consider becoming one of our sponsors. A few months ago, I set up a Patreon page. There's a link here. You can go there, select the level of support that you can give us, and join us. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a happy one. Take care.